Andrew Cloak is on the move, looking for somewhere to live where he can breathe a little easier.
I moved out of Sydney to get away from the smog. I moved to Goulburn. However, now I'm finding the weather down there in winter too cold. It's affecting me in the mornings.
He's woken each day by his cough.
If you try and sleep in, no, impossible. You start to cough straight away. It can take up to an hour to stop.
The 52-year-old spent 2 decades working with engineered stone, an artificial product used in kitchen benchtops and bathroom vanities.
When we were cutting engineered stone dry, you could tell the brand of the stone by the smell. There would be dust in the air. The dust is that fine that it would stay in the air. You walk into the lunchroom in the afternoon, wipe your finger along the bench and your fingertip would be white.
When 730 first met Andrew 4 years ago, he'd recently been diagnosed with silicosis, an incurable lung disease caused by the dust.
It's rather like a snowstorm. You can see that there are lots and lots of these little dots.
Since then, his health has worsened.
The oxygen level in my blood has dropped. I've developed an autoimmune issue now, which is currently being investigated. I was initially diagnosed stage 2, whereas now I've been bumped up to stage 3.
Unions have declared that from next year, their members will no longer work with engineered stone, the first boycotted material since asbestos. Government ministers across Australia are now considering a Safe Work Australia report released last week, which recommends a total ban, the first in the world.
It can cause severe disease, it can cause death. The predominant age for workers contracting silicosis is workers below the age of 35.
Safe Work Australia Chief Executive Michelle Baxter says engineered stone poses more danger than other products containing crystalline silica, including natural stone.
We look at the incidence rate of workers who work with engineered stone contracting silicosis, and it's far higher than the rest of the industry or the rest of the workers who work with silica-containing products.
Engineered stone was first imported into Australia in the late 90s. Relatively cheap and easy to install, it became popular in the 2000s and is now used in more than half of all benchtops.
Engineered stone is essentially a cocktail. It contains crystalline silica, it's got resin, it's got pigments, it has a whole bunch of different chemicals and things mushed together.
It's safe once installed, but occupational hygienist Kate Cole says the risks of misuse are too high for workers cutting the product.
Because this product is so toxic, you need a lot of safety measures in place to keep workers safe. So any one of those measures fails results in a high risk of disease being developed.
Caesarstone, a major global supplier, has taken out full-page newspaper ads and hired lobbyists in Canberra to resist a ban.
Caesarstone is driven by a steadfast commitment to serve as the trusted companion of every consumer.
Caesarstone claims its product can be used safely with personal protective equipment and a technique called wet cutting. But its latest annual report showed Caesarstone is facing injury lawsuits from 163 people, including 56 in Australia, with an estimated legal liability of $36 million. The report also notes 23 of its overseas employees had been barred from working with dust due to confirmed or suspected lung diseases.
That annual report says it all. Their own workers are succumbing to silica-related diseases, and I think that just explains or shows just how toxic the dust from engineered stone is.
Caesarstone Australia Managing Director David Cullen agreed to an interview at 7:30, but then pulled out. In a statement, the company said it was committed to a safe industry.
Caesarstone accepts that there are risks to workers if proper work, health and safety techniques are not followed. But that applies to all stone containing silica, not just engineered stone.
Caesarstone says it has moved to manufacturing stone with 40% or less crystalline silica, and that these products should remain legal. But Safe Work Australia rejected this proposal in its report.
It became apparent to us in examining the evidence that we were gathering and the voices we were hearing during our public consultation that there was no safe threshold for crystalline silica in engineered stone. There was no scientific evidence to support that.
Work health and safety ministers are due to meet before the end of the year to decide whether to implement a ban, and if so, when it should kick in.
It took us way too long to ban the importation and use of asbestos in this country. We allowed workers to continue to succumb to asbestos-related disease. Every day that goes by that we don't ban engineered stone, we're enabling the same thing to happen to Australian workers.
I'm frustrated with the government. The government now have had a few years to act on this and they've just procrastinated. People are dying for profit. For profit.
You can read the full statement by Caesar Stone on our website. Investigative reporter Adele Ferguson's work triggered that Safe Work report. She joins me now. Adele, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, what's happening with the response to that Safe Work report? As we just said, they recommended a full ban. What's happening?
So on Friday, the state and federal ministers for workplace were meant to have voted to ban the product completely. That didn't happen. They're procrastinating, and so we're just waiting to see. Sometime this year they will meet again, and the thought is that they will have to ban it.
Well, just in the meantime, who pays the price of that delay? If the Safe Work report is clear in its findings, who's paying the price for waiting?
Well, tradies are dying just going to do their job. That's a really big price to pay for a vanity product.
I know that all your reporting has always, despite its tremendous detail, has always been focused on the individuals, on the human stories. In this case, are they particularly young, the people who are suffering from this disease? Yeah,
absolutely. They're as young as 29. I've met people who are 32 with kids who are dying of silicosis and have got, 5 to 10 years life expectancy because of inhaling this, and it strangles them from the inside. That's how insidious this disease is.
I wanted to ask you that so it was clear to the audience who it is that we're talking about. Now, we know that the industry pushback has been very strong. Unnecessary, excessive and catastrophic are the words that Caesar Stone used. They went so far as to say that by focusing on this one product, a ban would actually cause harm. What is this argument that they're trying to make? Is there a safe threshold?
Well, the Safe Work report, they spoke to health experts, they spoke to occupational hygienists, and they found that there's no safe level. Caesar Stone and other manufacturers make a lot of money out of this product, so they would say that.
Now, just to be clear, so they're saying that below, if I'm right, that below 40% you can make the product safe. Has there been enough testing to disprove that? Do we know for sure that you can't lower the amount of silica in the product and make it okay?
Well, no, it's still not safe because it's engineered stone and they put stones together and it's resin and all other sorts of toxins, and the dust is much finer than natural stone, so it goes deeper into the lungs, and you get what you get.
And that's why Safe Work is saying it has to be a total ban, which also raises the question, there must have been regulation along the way trying to make it safe. And I know Caesar Stone make arguments about cutting it with water, when the stone is wet. So what happened to the regulation that was supposed to make working with this product safe?
It hasn't worked. In some of the stories I did earlier this year, we had factories on camera where they were still doing illegal cutting and people were getting sick. So it just doesn't work. There aren't enough regulators going out inspecting the properties. They're giving them the heads up when they're turning up. So it simply isn't working, and that's why it needs to be banned.
But is there no way to make it safe? If you've got a product that has to be cut wet, where workers have to wear certain types of work overalls and face masks, I assume, why isn't it possible for a regulatory system to control that?
I think it costs so much money and so much time. And at the end of the day, it's not a necessity, it's a vanity product. And Australia has the chance to be the first country in the world to ban this product, just like asbestos was banned. And, you know, that'd be a really good thing. And these companies don't want that, because look at the repercussions, the domino effect for other countries that are buying this product.
So we're waiting to see now politically whether Australia has the will.
Essentially.
Adele Ferguson, a pleasure to talk to you always. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.